my channel, which I thought of a name for it, Paige's Pages. My name is Paige, and this is where I tell you all about the pages that I've read. See what I did there? Paige's Pages. The month of March, well, kind of really late February, then March, I read 5 books. So this video, I'm just gonna go quickly over some of the books that I read, well, all of the books that I read this month, and tell you what I rated them on Goodreads. So here we go. First book that I read, it was the first book that kind of jumped me into reading again. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this book online and I'm gonna read it. And that was November 9 by Colleen Hoover. This was my first ever Colleen Hoover book. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. Now thinking back over my rating, now that it's been about a month or so since I've read it, and I've read other books since then, I think I was just really excited about reading again and getting lost in a story that I might have given it a little high on the rating. Probably now would give it a maybe 4 out of 5. I don't think it's quite a 5 out of 5 book. Some of the things that I really liked about this book, I loved the concept of it. If you don't know anything about this book, a boy and a girl, they meet one day, and he's a writer and she's an aspiring actress, and they decide to meet every single day on the same day, November 9th, which was the first day they met, for 5 years. And so this book spans over the course of 5 years. I like how she broke up the book. One thing that I didn't quite like about this book was the plot twist at the end. I kind of had a hard time believing it. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away, so I definitely would recommend this book, though. I would recommend it. It kept me reading, it kept me reading up late, and so I really enjoyed it. So, Colleen Hoover, November 9. Go get it. The second book that I read was Reconstructing Amelia by Kimberly McCreight. This book was awful. Hated it. I think I gave it 2 stars. 2 out of 5 stars, because I didn't want to be too mean. So this book is about a mother who, a single mom and her daughter, and the daughter ends up dying. That's on the back of the book, so that's not a spoiler. And she has to go through text messages and all these sort of things to try to figure out what caused her death, how she really died, because the mom doesn't believe that she killed herself. So this whole book is the mom going through the motions of trying to figure out what happened to her daughter. At the beginning, I was like, oh, I really like this, like her heart, oh, she must be heartbroken. I could really feel the mother's pain and everything like that. And then it just went really downhill for me. I thought it was really unbelievable, some of the things that happened in this story, like completely unbelievable, that I was like, this is just stupid. At one point, I remember reading through this, and I was reading it, and I was literally just like, okay, come on, alright, just skimming. I just want to finish it, because I didn't want to, like, not finish it. I wanted to be able to say that I finished it, but I don't even recommend this. I don't recommend anyone read this. I was utterly disappointed. But if you liked it, that's okay too. The third book that I read, I don't have the physical copy because I loved it so much I lent it to my friend so that she could read it too. So I'll just put a picture of it right here, and that is The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. 5 out of 5 stars. It was so beautifully written. The way that it wasn't just a love story, because I don't necessarily just love stories. I'm more of like a suspense, thriller, horror type of, that's kind of the genre, fantasies that I kind of like. But this story was so beautiful, and then the way they wove in like time travel, but it wasn't in a way that was like, because you know when you read those books about time travel and you're like, I have no clue what's going on. It wasn't like that. It was so well done. So basically, if you don't know what the story's about, it's about a girl who, she's about to graduate high school, and then she starts seeing like the wrong things, it says, and this vision comes to her at night called she calls grandmother, and the grandmother tells her, grandmother has been visiting her for a long time, since she was little, and she came, and basically the last thing she said was, you have 3 months to save him. And so now, now our main character is trying to figure out who she needs to save and what she needs to save him from. It was just beautiful. I highly recommend it. Highly, highly, highly. It was Emily Henry's debut novel, and I will be picking up the next one when it comes out, as soon as it comes out. Like, I loved it so much. Love That Split the World, 5 out of 5 stars, all day. The fourth book that I read this month was so good, and that is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This is actually my first ever Gillian Flynn book that I've read. I'm currently reading Gone Girl, but I picked this up at a local bookstore, and I was like, oh, let me try it. I loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Basically, it's a story about a writer, and her name is Camille. And she is from Missouri, and she lives in Chicago, but she goes back home to cover these murders of these young girls. So she goes back home, and it really triggers her in a lot of ways. And the characters in this, they're just so fucked up. Like, I loved it. Oh my gosh, I love the characters in this so much. Like, I felt like I wanted to know what they were thinking. I wanted to know what they were doing. Like, I love the characters in this story. The only reason why I did not give it a 5 out of 5 stars was because I'm not going to say what it was, but I pretty much predicted the big ta-da, the big, plot twist ta-da at the end of it. Pretty much predicted it about 30 pages in. Maybe not 30. Let me look at my Goodreads to see when I predicted it. Okay, at about page 68, I had predicted the big reveal, and I was right. But it didn't make the book bad. I would have liked to be a little bit more surprised, but oh my gosh, it doesn't matter. This book was amazing. So good. I highly recommend it, and I'm really excited to finish Gone Girl. The last book that I read the month of March, I kind of picked up on a whim. I saw a booktuber talking about it, and I was like, oh, let me just order that off of Amazon real quick. And that is This Is Where It Ends by, I'm gonna butcher this name, Marieke Nijkamp. I gave this book a 2 out of 5 stars. This was another book I was utterly disappointed with. The story is about a school shooting. Basically, it follows 5 characters, so it's from 5 different point of views. 10 o'clock a.m., the principal of Opportunity High School finishes her speech, welcoming the entire student body to the semester and encouraging them to excel and achieve. 10:02 a.m., the students get up to leave the auditorium for their next class. 10:03 a.m., the auditorium doors won't open. 10:05 a.m., someone starts shooting. Dun dun. I don't know why I just did a Law and Order sound. But, so that's the plot of this story, and I was so intrigued by that. And I think this book could have been amazing. This book could have been eye-opening into the world of school shootings, into like the thoughts of the killer, it could have been so much, but it fell so flat. The characters were so one-dimensional. Like, first of all, 5 points of view, like when you really don't care that much about the characters and then they keep switching from different points of view, it's just, I was like, wait, who is this now? Which character is this? Like, none of them had any real depth to them. I didn't really care about any of the characters. When people were getting shot during the school shooting, like, I didn't know who they were, so it was sad, but I'm like, okay. And the shooter, I feel like they just made him into this just evil, awful person, which he is because he killed so many people. But a lot of times with school shootings, there's so much more than just a kid comes into school with a gun. Not that you should feel sorry for them, but there's so much more to it. It's not just he's an evil person and just decided to shoot up the school one day. I mean, granted, yes, there's some just sociopaths out there, but usually there's some reason, and I just didn't understand. She didn't really develop that. I hated this book. I was so disappointed because it could have been awesome. It could have just left me just to ponder and to think, but I didn't. I finished this book like, thank God that's over, because that was not very good. So, do I recommend this book? I recommend it. No, I don't recommend it. If you liked it, please comment below and tell me what you liked about it. That's it for my March wrap up. I will see you again soon for another video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below. Also, follow me on social media. I'll link my Goodreads down below, and I also started an Instagram, paigespageskc, because Pages just was taken for Instagram name. So I'm from Kansas City, so I put KC at the end. So I'll link all that down below. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!